What's up, everybody? Wow, it's been a crazy week so far as we are just getting started into a new week here. It's Tuesday. I just got back from Lisbon, and yeah, sorry, I'm having trouble with my screen here. There we go. And yeah, wow, what a crazy market it's been. It's been an emotional roller coaster. I think we're at peak fear right now. I think we might have dipped into 10. Everybody's wondering, is it all over? Should we pack up and go home? Will alts ever move? It's doom and gloom out there. Guys, we're here to fill you in on everything, to let you know exactly what it says in the charts, where we're at, and where we think we might be headed this cycle, okay? Macro, I'm still as bullish as I've ever been, but right now we want to give you the facts in the charts to help you make the best decisions. Now, that being said, we have been making money all weekend scalp trading with Rob's strategies, and it's been amazing. It's truly been an incredible trading weekend. So I know that that's not a normal sentiment to have in these markets, but we've had a lot of thank yous and a lot of people that have decided to buckle down and learn and take advantage of the bonus with BYDFi, which is in the link in the description below. And guys, we're just here to help you navigate this storm as we are currently right in the eye of the storm. Bitcoin has gone down below 90,000 on quite a few exchanges, and we are just wondering what is next. What typically happens at this point in time? Is there any hope, or is it all over? Are we going to have that traditional long dragged out bear market before we see another leg up for Bitcoin and for altcoins? I'm going to go over that with you today on the show. And also I'm just going to bring you some good vibes in these times where it's a little bit tough. I know it's a little bit tough out there. It's been a very tough market to navigate emotionally. And that's why, the charts look like they do, because people capitulate when there is fear. And the other thing I'll say is that typically when there's extreme fear, at least if you're a macro investor, that can be historically a very good time to buy. Now, I have been buying some Bitcoin on this dip, and I'm just getting ready for whatever scenario plays out now. All right. So if you go to the news, not much has happened. We had Saudi Arabia be welcomed by the White House in incredible fashion. They said they're ready to invest $1 trillion in the United States, which is crazy. All kinds of bullish news. Just like last week, U.S. banking regulator says banks can hold crypto to pay blockchain network fees. Bloomberg reports. We had SoFi, the bank that said it's going to custody crypto and let you loan and borrow against it. All of these macro bullish thesis and news, and yet the market is still where it's at. So we had one post by Raoul Pal that says, I wanted to put the current sell-off into perspective. BTC corrected in 2024, 32%, 2025, 32%, and right now is around 28%. This is normal. You've lived it before. So, we go through these massive dips, the dips that make you sick, like we say on this channel. And that's just the nature of crypto, right? So if we want to hit these outrageous gains, we've got to go through some of these painful times. So that's it on the news front. We're just sort of watching and waiting and trying to see what plays out. But a little more stats on the crypto fear and greed index. It's showing sentiment. So it's showing that sentiment is at its lowest since late February. So it's been many, many months since we've been this low on fear and greed. In fact, Bitcoin is now the most oversold as well since it was in 2023. So there's a lot of things happening right now that say whether or not it's the local bottom before going on up to a new all-time high, or just the local bottom before a massive bounce, now is typically a good time to buy when the sentiment is this bad. Right. And that's just how investing is. It's hard. And that's why not a lot of people succeed in the end, because the emotions will get to you every single time. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Rob up on the show to help us navigate the charts and explain to us what exactly is happening right now, technically, whether or not there's any hope, and if this resembles any previous cycles. Rob, what's up?
Nothing too much. How you doing?
Good. Man, it's kind of a day in crypto, kind of a few couple days. It's been a crazy roller coaster, I would say.
As is up and down like a roller coaster or an elevator, whatever you want to
call it. Roller coaster or elevator. Take the stairs up and the elevator down.
Yep.
That's what it seems. Yeah. So what is your take right now? We just closed below the 50-week moving average, and we have been saying that we're going to be bullish until that happens. Now it's happened. Now we have to sort of regroup and try to figure out where we go from here. So I know that you have a few thoughts and a few theses you've been posting in the Discord. So there have been updates in the Discord all weekend long on charts, on what's happening. So if you guys aren't in there yet, join the Hive Discord in the link below, as it's still open, because we were going to gate it. And then we decided it's such a tough market that we're going to give you a little bit more time to get in. So it's still open. Take advantage of it for the next couple of days at least, and do get in there. But so what do you make of this market right now?
I mean, it's been. I mean, in my opinion, it's been completely different than the last time. But also, then I started looking into it a little bit, and I had to do some research on 2017, 2021, just to kind of go back through my notes, see what they were kind of like on TA wise, and every cycle top, every cycle towards the end, every alt season is technically different, and that's something that I kind of posted in the Hive as well too. Is how every cycle is a little bit different. I know everything they say, everything rhymes. Yeah, everything kind of rhymes, but it's also always a little bit different. So this here, what made me not really do too much movement over the last month or so is watching Bitcoin dominance. And Bitcoin dominance, I believe I posted in there as well too, that we made an inverse head and shoulders. We barely retested the 50 on that one there, but also at the same time, Bitcoin broke the 50 as support. So Bitcoin dominance dropping, Bitcoin dropping, it gives you a lot of mixed signals and that way. And then it's just all about strategy afterwards and being patient. Unless you're a scalper or day trader, then you can sit there and do whatever you want because the market conditions don't matter. You just take entry, put your stops in, take profits, leave trade. But as a swing trader, which was my favorite way of trading until these markets have been how they've been, I kind of switched my style a little bit. But as a swing trader or as some people call it, the midterm holders, you have to be patient and wait for a good entry signal, which I give everybody my entry signal away for free. It's very simple for a position trader or you're looking for longer swing trades. Is you close above the 1-day 9, bullish crossover on Stosh RSI and a MACD. You open a long up and you wait for the inverse when we close underneath it. When we close underneath it, no matter how much it goes up, you leave trade. Boom. If you would have done that, you're sitting either still in profits or you broke even or took a very minor loss. One of the three happened, and you're sitting there waiting for your next entry, which technically we haven't even got yet. But charts are starting to show that, hey, we might be getting some good alt movement if Bitcoin dominance keeps doing what it does. And even though we broke the 1 week SMA 50, which we can go in and start looking at the charts, if we go up and have a slow grind up to bearishly retest it, we could have alts run really strong, because what that means is people that sold their Bitcoin, the whales that sold their Bitcoin, the whales, I'm not going to say people, I'm going to say the whales that sold their Bitcoin that took profits are buying altcoins.
Right. Yeah. And that's what it is. It's been kind of like, people are wondering, like, where is the retail? It's been a different cycle because they were sort of here when Trump launched his meme coin. They were here a little bit earlier, but now it's sort of been whales quietly accumulating, as it feels like. It feels like right now the institutions are quietly accumulating the whales, and when they are done doing their thing, that's when we'll be able to go up again, or at least that's one of the theories, which I think does sort of make a lot of sense. We can put that up against the charts and see what that looks like, but I think that is just what it is. Another thing that I think is, BlackRock, they're not going to want, this is just my thoughts, right? These are just like outside theories, regardless of what the chart shows. They're not going to want a market where we have a traditional 4-year cycle where, people leave for a year, don't buy anything, don't sell anything. They earn no money on it. I feel like they are going to want this to look more like, the equity markets or the stock markets or something like that. So I don't know. I just lean more toward, if we are going to have like a bear market period, that it's not going to be as severe and as long as previous bear markets. Also based on the fact that we didn't get a huge blow off top and huge sentiment extremes. Right. So,
well, here's another twist to throw in it too. So you have like, you know who Crypto is?
Yeah, I was with him over the weekend. All the guys there. Yeah.
Whale, right. He's a Bitcoin whale, right?
Right.
When does he take profit? He takes profit at the end of the 4-year cycle. So you have whales against whales trying to you have the original Bitcoin whales playing the cycles, and now you have these big whales with lots of USD coming in, and they're trying to make their own cycles. That's kind of that was my thought process over the weekend, because he's even shown on X like how he took profits at the very top. And I could go and show you some of the charts that he kind of makes up a little bit, only with my little bit of twist on it with the 4-year cycles on it. And I'm sitting there going, wait a second. He just played the 4-year cycle. That's why he took profit right there and then. And you have people like him that's been in that's what they do. They buy in the bear market lows, and then they sell at the take profit zones in the 4-year cycle. And boom, it's kind of like But then you have BlackRock coming in there. It made it all kind of a little bit different in that area.
Right. Yeah. This is the first time we had BlackRock and all the major institutions in the mix who say, wait a second, maybe we don't like this 4-year cycle. Maybe we don't want that to happen. Maybe they want to accumulate at these lower prices. But again, it's not a profitable thing to have people pack up, leave, and want to exit crypto because they're burned so bad or because it's so volatile. Right. So that's just one of my thoughts as to why I don't believe we're going to get this, 70% drawdown. Right. So yeah, Mark, what's up? Welcome to the show. It's good to see you hanging out here, man. I mean, only the real ones are tuning in right now because everybody is just down. I mean, this must be like the depression phase, right? Like the give up phase. I'm capitulating. It's over. I'm leaving. It's out. But if you're still here, I can tell you, you have a really, really great chance at winning. That's all I will say. You have an exponentially higher chance than those who don't tune into these streams at this time. Right. So you just got to keep your head up. You've got to just focus on the game and also learn other strategies. Like Rob said, if you're not, if you're a swing trader traditionally, these haven't been great market dynamics for swing trading, but we are teaching scalp trading. And it is, apart from a lot of fun and creating sort of like a community around something, there is a lot of money to be made in that. In your spare time, you use the tactics that Rob we'll show you, we'll teach you. We're going to make a course on it. That's confirmed. Okay. So we're going to show you these tools so that you can make money in any market dynamic, whether it's going up, down, and it's a lot of fun in the process. Right. So while you're waiting for market cycle to pick up, for something to change, for like confirmation, these are things that you can be doing to maximize your portfolio and your gains.
Instead of watching TV, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, it could be even a hobby, whatever it may be. Like, learn these skills because they will take you very, very far. And while we're waiting for the whales to accumulate or whatever we're doing right now, it's a very tough market dynamic to figure out. But there are a lot of theories we can have. And in the meantime, we can pair those up with the charts. So what do you say, Rob, that we dig right into it?
Yeah, definitely. Now I got a show I want to talk about for the next show. We're going to call it Whale Wars. We're going to sit there and look into it.
I like that. Whale
Wars going on right now. I think there's something going on behind that. We have the old school whales on crypto, and then we have the new money coming in, which is technically old money from the old financial system. And now they're just competing against each other on how they want the markets to move. That's my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think you're absolutely right. I think there's a lot of people that are playing the 4-year cycle, and then a whole other camp that does not want that wants a different type of cycle, a different sort of stair step up kind of cycle. And, like that's I think that it's in the midst of changing, right? It's not something that it always used to be.
Yeah.
So let's have a look at some of the previous cycles here.
Yeah, so this is right here. This is basically like the 4-year cycle. And the top line, I was trying to get it all. I made this a while back ago, so it's a little bit messy right now. But the top line, the orange line here, that's your Bitcoin chart. And whenever you go in the green, that's technically whenever like whales like to start taking profits. And they're during the halving, right after the halving, this is when they're starting to, like right on this area, they accumulate and they take profits and they scale out of here. And you can sit there and see how everything kind of pulls back afterwards. And there's one chart I was actually trying to specifically look for here. This is others. Maybe it was others. Oh, now I just deleted it. Let me go ahead and add that back in there. But anyway, let's look at others with that. So what I can do now, so this that way that we can kind of see how like after the 4-year cycle, how we kind of always drop off right afterwards. And it's pretty on point. That's kind of what happened this time as well too. 4-year cycle end right here. But we're going to pay attention to the year of 2017-18 whenever we dropped off and we had this bounce right here. So I'm going to be focusing on this zone right here where we had this big sell off right here. And then right afterwards, we had another big sell-off, and we kind of came right here, and then we had a bounce up right here. And right there, if I recall correctly, let me see if I can get it to come back up on here. New plane. That's not how I want it.
So we're looking at Bitcoin right now on the 1 week.
Yeah, 1 week. Now I'm trying to pull up others. So others is now this blue line that I just pulled up, okay? Same price scale. And you can kind of see how whenever it kind of dropped off all down to here, and then we got a kind of a bounce, and then we just kind of completely, on others, we had this big giant bounce right here, which right afterwards, and that's where a lot of people made money whenever Bitcoin had that rebound. A lot of people made a lot of money on others. That's outside of the 4-year cycle. So I'm kind of leaning towards that idea as of right now. And I kind of want to get a little bit more explain on that one here.
Okay.
So now we're going to go to back to this chart right here. So this is the 1 week chart. Oh, excuse me 1 second, guys.
Yeah, it's okay. So guys, what we're also going to go over is whether or not, like, this is the 1 week chart. Okay. We're going to go over whether or not there are any bullish factors left, any hopium left that could potentially trigger a bullish leg up, or if we're seeing something different now, right? If we've seen that the confirmation of the bear market is in, we're going to go over both scenarios based on what the charts are telling us, so that you get a good idea of, or a better idea of what to do next, right? Watchmen, what's up? Let's go. El Gamid, fire. Hey, shout out to all the real ones who are here tuning in because you want to win. Let's go.
All right. So what we're going to look at now is the 1 week chart, right? So, and we lost, it's obvious we lost the 1 week SMA 50. Yep. Okay. So we lost it. What do we look to do now? We're actually still holding this support here. This is my following trend right here. So we're actually still holding that as of right now as support. And right now, after you have a breakdown or break up, usually what you want is a confirmation candle. A confirmation candle is your next candle close to confirm that move on it, which is typically you get a bearish retest or something like that. So right now, that's what we're going to be kind of looking for, is a bearish retest up to that level. But the thing is, whenever I'm going to go into the 1 day chart here, and we're going to come back to this chart again as well, too, because there's some more things I want to talk about it, but I need to put it in a system that I want to have mapped out for you guys here. And the reason I'm sitting there saying that we could potentially fake out on the 1 week chart here, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to build a chart just so you guys can kind of see it in a different view here in the 1 day time frame. I'm going to go ahead and hit Alt Inverse. I'm going to make this a inverted chart.
Wow.
So what does it look like to you?
Well, it looks a whole lot more bullish this way than the other way. Yeah, look at that. Wow.
Rob
dropping alpha and showing us the perspective. Okay.
So that is around the bottom is a reversal pattern. Now, sometimes you don't get the breakout. So even if we did go a little bit higher, but we're kind of looking at a potential neckline type of thing. And what you can get is a potential handle type of deal. So a handle is typically like a 50% retracement or something like that, or on the Fibonacci scale here. So we can go ahead and go like that. That kind of lines up right with this level right here. So we could be looking at a potential cup and handle up to 110K. Now, that's going to create a lot of confusion because say that we do that typical kind of style move on here, and we get up to 110K or so again, then that would be a bearish retracement, and we will be above the weekly SMA 50 again. So there is a possible chance that we're going to recover it, but we're going to need 2 weeks closes over it. So that's going to be a pretty good while to make sure that that's confirmed. Or if we lose it again, it just plays dancing queen on it or something like that, we potentially slowly grind back up, and Bitcoin dominance falls down. Why the slow grind back up, which I'm looking upside down. I don't know if you guys see the bullish, make it look bullish for you, but now we're back to normal. So we have the slow grind up, making a handle here, and Bitcoin dominance drops. It could make a very strong move in alts. It's just kind of like how it happened in 2017. We had the run afterwards on a lot of altcoins in 2017 after the top of Bitcoin. That didn't happen exactly the same way in 2021, of course. It was a little bit different thing. Everything kind of topped out a different way. That's where I like to say everything's a little bit different. That's why I'm very big at staying with strategies and sitting there looking for confirmations above the 1 day 9. You go for longs. Underneath it, you wait or you look for shorts. One of the two for me. So that's where this idea right here. And then if that does go right up to here, you could sit there and say, hey, like I just zoomed out a little bit here. You have an inverse head and shoulders right there as well too. If we do make this, I'll call it a dead cat bounce or a relief rally. Some people might call it something like that. So we get some kind of relief rally getting back up into there. If we don't put in new all-time highs, we're going to be putting a lower low, and we could be looking at the potential the start of the bear market for Bitcoin. But during this rally, we could have and it could just grind up real slow to where it gives time for alts to run.
Because what alts want is that sort of feeling of stability where Bitcoin's not losing the floor or dropping, 2 to 3 grand a day or something like that.
Yes, they want that stability. They don't. Basically, you want Bitcoin to be grinding slowly, so it's not stealing. Like if Bitcoin's going crazy and Bitcoin dominance is pumping, then Bitcoin's stealing the show. Alts don't get any attention, which we've been experiencing for 3 years. So alts have been really hard to trade for 3 years now. But if Bitcoin's dumping, alts don't do well. But if Bitcoin grinds slowly, even if it's making a lower high, and Bitcoin dominance, as we can look at, we're getting nice big red candle today, and it looks like we're making a inverse head and shoulders right here. Or no, not inverse, a regular head and shoulders right here. And we also got rejected. Let me turn on my 50. So I have the 5 on right now because that's one of my scalping indicators.
Right.
So as you see, we just wicked up and we can't even get a candle close to this SMA 50 in the weekly on Bitcoin dominance. So we're really depending on Bitcoin dominance right now to make its move. We're looking for the losing of the 1 week SMA 9. I thought that was the 1 day. We already lost the 1 day and bearishly retested it. So we're just looking for our next low on Bitcoin dominance and Bitcoin to kind of make some kind of rally here, even if it's a bearish retest on the weekly 50 to get some good relief rallies going in altcoins and some altcoin movement very strong.
Right. No, absolutely. And this is a very good breakdown. So let's just summarize, what would it take what are we looking at here? Like, are we looking at another week? Could Bitcoin do some sort of bear trap? What would it take for you to say, oh, this cycle is probably over for the time being? Like, what are the different scenarios we're looking at besides this one where we have a relief rally? Like, let's talk about now the whole macro part of it, like whether or not we could see another leg up for Bitcoin and a new all-time high, or that we're potentially over for this cycle.
All right, so this is going to be the really confusing part, and this is where is getting a lot of people off guard. We have those 50 indicators or so from CoinMarketCap that says the bottom's not, or the top's not in, that basically none of those gone off. So that's there is the one part that's like, okay, none of those happened. That's really confusing. I'm going to go into this chart right here. This is the Bitcoin 3-day chart with with this cloud here, the Ichimoku cloud that everybody uses right here. It's still green, it's just flipping kind of a little bit red, which kind of does happen a little bit on the 3-day chart. It's green, we're underneath it, and typically when you get underneath that cloud and it's still green, when it's still green, that's typically your best time to buy. And now I match that up. Now you go to any basically bull market or bear market, when you have this 3-day RSI down at the lows around, like, what level did I put this at? Around 30. So I'm going to go in here to show you guys. So right here, we got like around 30 or 40 or so in here, where this basically claims as support. And typically you get a bear trap on these levels here. And combine that with a Stosh RSI, which we have all of that right now on the 3-day chart. Very strong chart, high time frame, not your little 5-minute chart here. But this is something that's very strong. Like, even if you go into, like, here was our first top in Bitcoin on the last rally. The RSI made it down to that 30 level. We had the bullish crossover and Stosh. We were underneath the green cloud. We came up back above it. You know what I mean? So right there, and then right here as well too. Even in a bear market, I believe we lost the 50 weekly right there and bearishly retested it. But that signal there gave us the bearish retest. Let's go and put the SMA 50 on it, just so we can, just for perspective.
Right.
I don't know why I just thought of that. I almost have some of these charts memorized in my head now. So I'm going to be going ahead. So if you put a simple moving average on there, you just go into 50, you go into chart, and I want to see the weekly. So let's go to not 1 minute, not 10 minutes, hours. There can be way too many options here. 1 week. And I like my weekly being red. And we're going to make this a little bit bigger so we can see it. Okay, yes, I was right. See, I told you I have these charts memorized in my head. Now right here, we even on a bear market, we broke the 50 right here, came down underneath it, and we came up and this gave us the local low, the local bottom right here, and come up and bearishly retested it. And you know what? I can sit there and tell you, because I remember trading this. I remember from January 22nd, when we had the local low underneath the 50, up to the bearish retest of the SMA 50 weekly, and that was about April of 2022, that's whenever we had incredible gains on the gaming tokens. And I would sit there and say that's when we were making 10, 20Xs or those 5X, 10X gains real fast on those small caps was in this time period between there and there. I was there.
Wow.
The reason I know that is because I was there and I was trading it. And I was actually still kind of newer. And I just remember making call outs and they just went crazy afterwards. I was like, what? What the hell? I'm like, why doesn't everybody do this? This is so easy. Then all of a sudden this happens. And you're like, what is going on now? But I remember in that from January 2022 all the way to April or right until April, May area, sell them May, go away. We had it's incredible. That was gaming season. That was the gaming token season, and NFTs were going crazy. It was in that time period. So that just came to my memory, just remembering trading that time. Just remembering, like, I'll throw $1,000 in, a couple days later, take out, it's like $5,000. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah. And that's a really good point, because that's a silver lining to this is if this were the bull cycle top for now, and we did get this bearish retest, that's quite a few weeks right there before we actually bearishly retested it and confirmed. So that would be quite a few weeks of potentially mega altcoin trading. That would be sort of the bullish line in the sand, right? Or the silver lining. Yeah. So how many weeks is that? 63 days. Okay. So just about 2 months worth of insane trading, like Rob said, call outs popping off. I see here one of the guys in the chat said, Cam, yo, we back. Y'all called the Stark move. Just moved into a position. Yes, Stark has been incredibly strong. We've been calling that out in the group. It's been one of the strongest coins. So we're nailing it in the Hive, guys. Join the link in the description below. If you're not in there already, that goes without saying. And take advantage of the BYDFi bonus, okay? To get started right now, you deposit with a link in the description below, and you get 50% deposit bonus. For depositing $100, you get $50. And let's go, guys. Get your feet wet. It's time to start getting ready, because what if we do have this period now where, it's slow grind to the right? Also, I wanted to say in the COVID time, we did drop below the 50, but we did manage to break back above it and then rip the rest of the cycle. Do you think that's something that could potentially happen this cycle? As I see somebody in the chat here says it's a super cycle and top will come in 2026.
Are you asking me that question?
Yeah.
I have no idea. I don't like making suggestions like that, just because like that there had a very, like, that was in the beginning of the cycle before the halving. I think we're at a different time of all cycles here. So if that did happen, like what's the narrative for that one there? And I think just making prediction like that is just very challenging to do. So if we break above it and we have 2 weeks closes, like so I'm looking at COVID right now, the COVID dip right here. I'm looking at it. If that does happen, was that even closed in the weekly? So yeah, right here, 2020. So yeah, so we have that. When we get 2 closes above it or 3 closes above it, like it did here, then okay, we confirm the close above it, and then you just go with it. Like it's if this happens, okay. If that happens, okay. I can't really. So yeah, I'm all for it happening and getting closes above it. I'm not going to sit there and go, there ain't no way. One thing I like teaching people is everything with TA, and sometimes it might help you kind of click on that, makes you manage risk a lot better. Everything in TA is just a theory, and it all can be wrong because it's all just a theory. It's not about being right. It's about just looking at probabilities and managing your risk and ideas on, if this happens, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this to manage my risk. And there's a probability that this might play out. So, I just want to sit there and say any theory is possible. So yeah, we can definitely close. We can definitely get that above it. And if we have two, 3 candle closes above it, all right, we're back off to the races. And we might be looking for those other 50 indicators to sit there and say market cycle top, because we haven't got them yet, which is probably the hardest part right now with the crypto market.
Right, exactly. So it's not about predictions. It's a if that, then this scenario. So, it's hard to say right now whether we're in a confirmed bear market. That is a confirmation below the 50-week and closing below it, that is potentially the start of it. But we'll have to see when we come back to either bearishly retest it, break above it, or whatever we may end up doing. But in the meantime, one of the silver linings is what Rob mentioned, which is this sort of scenario where Bitcoin grinds sort of like down and to the right a little bit, and the altcoins in that stability, that it's not like losing its floor anymore, start to take off because Bitcoin dominance is tanking. So that's one of the scenarios we could be looking at. And then the other two, we do one or the other, right? Like if and what I will say is, if we are in a confirmed bear market and we do bearishly retest, I don't think that it necessarily needs to be like the other bear markets in length and also extremes, right? Because we haven't seen those extremes. That's one of the things I will say. But again, the charts and the price action will dictate what happens. So it's going to be an interesting week. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with Bitcoin, but we might potentially get some amazing altcoin trading. You guys better be ready. You better be in the hive. You better be ready to rock and roll, because like Rob said, that was the time when all the gaming tokens were popping off, when you just put 1,000 in and it took 5,000 out immediately. I mean, just crazy kind of market conditions. And potentially those whales that are taking profits on Bitcoin are ready to rotate into small altcoins and capture some of those gains. So
right? Most likely, if you're a newer trader, you're going to make more money than me, because I'm going to be better at managing risk and taking profits quicker. And that's going to be a mistake that I probably make whenever that kind of stuff happens, because of the way I trade, the style I have. But the thing is, whenever it's over, I'm not going to be losing as much money, and hopefully I can stop people from losing money whenever that does kind of happen. That's kind of my goal in that part of it. But
exactly.
So something I want to mention as well too. They keep on saying like how it can't be as small, or it could be a smaller correction this time. And I was just looking at corrections for each from bear market or bull market top to bear market bottom, just like quickly like measure it out here. Like I went to this one here. We had 78% pullback, 83% pullback, 75% pullback, and basically the measurement's always down to the weekly SMA 200, and the measurement from our local top right here of 222,000 down to the SMA 200, we're looking at a 54% drop right there. Now we could go a little bit beneath it, of course, like we did last time, but again, I'm not going to sit there and say we're going to go beneath it or not. I'm going to sit there and use that as the level of our potential bear market bottom whenever a bear market does happen, and that's at $55,608 as of right now, which is a 55% drop altogether.
Right. And if that would not be like other crashes that's been like 70%, that line also is rising. But I think that most people are concerned with altcoins from what I'm looking at in the comments and on the X feeds and all that kind of stuff. So if your question is, will we see some altcoin action? This is the answer, that potentially if we get that same sort of market conditions that we got, that bearish retest up to the 50, we could see some really good altcoin trading.
Now, the hard part of it with that's going to be is it going to be all altcoins, or is it going to be only certain sectors, which even during this giant pullback, we're nailing the privacy sector. And that's the ones that I've been mainly picking out and trading on in that area. Like if we go into the Discord, like the STRK, like right now I'm looking at XVG. It hasn't broke out yet. We're kind of coming back down and retesting. That's a privacy token. Like, so
right.
I do a little bit of FA. My FA is looking for hype and looking for what is in season. And that's kind of like my goal here. Esther, we're still in as well too. And that's slowly been building. I'm not sure what type of token that is, because I actually never looked into it. All I know
Aster is like Hyperliquid. It's a perp but from Binance.
Okay, but I know the starter of Binance, CG, he's buying it and holding it. So I know everybody's gonna be looking at that one. That's just obvious. So that's my hype and that's my FA on it. I don't have to go any further than he's saying he's buying and holding it. So that's enough FA there. Huh? But everything else is privacy tokens. I think like there's one that's trying to take off now that I'm kind of waiting for some retest on. It's called Dusk. That's a privacy token, I believe. So, and had a 20% pop yesterday while everything was dumping. So those private. But then that money, that's not going to last forever as well, too. There's going to be a new rotation. There's going to be a new hype phase as well, too, of something. What's it going to be? We don't know until we know. And then when we find out, that's when we start trading those type of tokens. So being inside the group, being inside the hive, being inside the groups, and getting ready for those setups whenever we start posting those setups, whenever we find the next hype phase, because we don't know what it is. We're still waiting for it as well, too. But we're always sitting there digitally trying to figure that out. That's one of our goals all the time.
Exactly. So we're here. We're going to be here the rest of the week, keeping you guys updated. I see a lot of different comments here, so I'm just going to go over them for a minute. Andrew, sorry, I don't really know about Monad, so I don't think I'll be of much help on that right now. Let's see. We'd love to see a TI and Rob's thoughts on Stark and maybe Clash. Oh, the Clash fam is back in the house. We just had a nice breakout retest. So Cam, sounds like you've been riding the Stark wave, which is very, very cool. And all of the people in the hive have been doing that. Lots of love from Cam, by the way. Thank you for endorsing the Discord. We are on point in there, and it's free, guys. It's a no-brainer. So we must do that. Yeah, you must get in there. The link is in the description below. Then one guy says Clash had a nice breakout. Okay. it's looking like we have the Clash fam back in the channel. There's still a law that needs to be voted on to pass for a majority company like Apple, Microsoft to use stablecoins as payments. The Clarity Act. The Clarity Act is about to be passed. There's infinite macro bullish factors, right? The question is, will we get that momentum back in the market with this sort of battle of the whales? Those that are redistributing, taking profits, the whole like Bitcoin IPO theory versus the BlackRocks, the institutions, the micro strategies, right? So really interesting. And Tiago, thank you very much for the tip. It's a clash for the win. The Clash family wants us to look at the Clash TA. So let's see if we do get an alt season start round first quarter of 26. Is that well? I mean, Almunim, thank you for tuning in. By the way, you're one of the real ones. That's what we were just talking about. That potentially now in Bitcoin's sort of retest of the 50-week. We could see a pretty bullish altcoin season. I don't know, imminent, right? Like I don't think it would have to wait until next year. So let's see. Rob mentioned XVG.
And it ends when it closes under.
Right. Yeah, there you go. So we are on the Clash. For all you Clash fam, let's go. Let's check out the Clash chart.
All right. So, I mean, pretty simple chart right here. We are moving on the 12-hour SMA 9. And I really like that SMA 9 right now as of just due to when I looked at it last time we broke it and retested it was right here. And it held it as very good, strong support. So we get a close above here within 2 hours and 38 minutes. We may get to come back down and retest it a little bit right here. And then we're going to be looking to break this level and potentially get up to this trend line. Now, the reason I may put my little bump right there is we have this strong resistance right here. We need to break through as well, too. So we probably play some Dancing Queen in this zone until we get out of this zone right here. We'll be looking for a move up to this trend line. Now, the move, so right there would be a fantastic long trade to right here. So say you get an entry, we're looking at a good 70% gains right there. Now, that would potentially be our third hit on this trend line that we are potentially making a triangle. Now the question is, do we get one more rejection off of here to put in a higher, which you'll see this a lot where you kind of spike up, but you fake out and you come back down, test some kind of support, bull trap everybody, and then you kind of take off. So I wouldn't be surprised to see something like that, and you kind of break out, then you kind of go skyrocket, and I'm going to be looking for a measured move. What would be the measured move of? We'll be looking for a measured move. Let's say right there is our true breakout of about 11 cents. Now let's sit there and look at the Fibonacci as well too, from close candle to close candle. And I'll see what it looks like from candle wick to candle wick. I like the candle wick to candle wick because that and the measured move kind of go very strong. Actually, if we just broke out right here as well too and kind of did a smaller fake out type of deal and just kind of came up and down, because you kind of see that type of stuff, especially since it's a meme coin. That measured move, we got up here and kind of broke down, we'll kind of see a measure right with the 618 Fibonacci level of 11 cents. And after that, I'll sit there and do new TA on it and kind of see what the volume looks like and everything as well too. But it's looking strong. And then I look at the oscillators. Actually, I got on my special oscillator here 2 buy signals. Stochastic RSI cross is, let me see if it's confirmed. It will be confirmed because both lines above 20 and close after candle close. RSI going above 50 strong. MACD, possibly 1 or 2 more candles to get the bullish MACD cross, saying that we have bullish momentum. And after we get the bullish momentum in is whenever we get our impulse moves.
All right. So potentially on the verge of being a very strong buy right here.
Yep.
Okay. It's a community coin based on a game from Crypto RS. Yeah, George. George is very cool. Good TA. Sounds about right. It is very solid TA, isn't it, Tiago? Yeah, no, this is looking good. This is looking very good. And we'll keep you updated on these charts in the Hive. So be sure to join if you haven't, because it's still free and it's an incredible resource, guys. So I think also, yes, STRK, Stark. I mean, we've been absolutely crushing it with this coin. And I'm glad you have seen that, Cam, and you've been able to spread the word about that because you've been making some pretty solid gains here.
Yeah, so this one here, it still looks like we're just starting our impulse moves up on it. We did break our first resistance. We came back down. Let me delete these. I've been waiting for a leverage trade on it. Um, so basically what we did here is we came back down. We retested this support area that we broke above. And that's what we're doing right now is retesting it. We're confirming new supports right here. So our next breakout level is going to be up here. And we want to close above 2204 or so in order for our next breakout level to sit there and put a new swing high in on it. But right now, we're just basically retesting. This is a retest of the 12-hour SMA9. We got our golden cross, which we got our golden slap after our golden cross, which you typically get a pullback right there. Remember the golden slap token?
Oh, yeah, we remember the golden slap.
So right there was the golden slap. Everybody got all bullish right there. We got the golden cross, and it kind of got slapped back down, got our pullback, but it wasn't too strong of a pullback, so that's really good. Really good that buyers came in to buy it. So that's one thing I like. Let's look at the one-day chart. One day, so you can sit there and see we came back and we retested. Let me see here. I'll have it right here. So right there was the perfect retest of the one-day SMA9. So that was a very good thing as well, too. It was just a wick down there, so that could have been a very good entry if you were paying attention to that 9 right there, and you'll be already, if you took an entry there, you would already be up 16% just from that little scalp. That could be a little day trade there if you're day trading. But now when I zoom into the 4-hour charts, kind of what I'm looking for right now is how are we going to do this next uptrend? So I'm making a trend line from here to there. I was hoping to get a full pullback to this trend line at some point to kind of take a new entry. So, but right now we just closed the 4-hour candle above the 9 here. So I'm hoping for a nice little like come back down, retest this area, and then go up. And if we get this pullback here, I'm probably going to take out a leverage trade on it. Is where I'll be looking to take a leverage trade, and hopefully I'll be taking. And once we start passing up into new all-time highs, I'll just use a following stop, and then I like to take profits. Typically, if it's a swing trade, 20-30%. So if I get entry somewhere down in here, don't know exactly where, a good take profit's going to be right around in this area right here. That's massive gains if you're using leverage, and you don't want to. I'm not a holder in leverage. I don't hold leverage just because. I believe no matter what leverage you're using, that holding leverage is a very high risk because all it takes is one scam wick to wreck you. Even if it's a scam wick, it doesn't matter. It still wrecks you.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So I agree with you here. This is looking solid. We might get another good entry, better entry on Clash. Oh, sorry, Clash. I'm looking at all these Clash comments on STRK. Cam says Rob is better in Crypto Lifer. He's the GOAT. Well, Rob is the GOAT, most certainly. I did meet Crypto Lifer in person at the conference this weekend in Lisbon. He's also very, very nice. Just a great community. It's great to have different styles of trading. But yeah, Rob is the GOAT, guys. And we are making a group that is like, we're going to actually be live scalping with you. We're going to take you through all of these and be with you every day in the group doing this stuff. So if you like that and you want to be ready for that, join the Discord because you'll have first access to it. So yeah, Megan Rob will be getting some Clash gear after Vegas. All right. Let's do it. Let's go. So yeah, STRK looking, it's kind of crazy when you zoom out like this, right? Like,
yeah, I'm seeing something that I'm not sure how I can present on the chart just right. Oh, so when I get
crazy.
Yeah, look at this right here. So this is another big thing that I'm looking at. So this is the weekly chart with ridiculous breakout volume. So this is in a different type of logarithmic form right here. So this is a different type of chart right here, but this makes me so I can connect these two dots right here, touch here, and then go down all the way here. We broke the trend line, and we are bullishly retesting it right now in the weekly time frame. And that's so whenever you look for a breakout, you want to see a candle close above a trend line with volume confirmation. Like this is TA 101, like classic, like breakout and retest, like on a weekly time frame. That weekly bullish oscillators, like that right there is just sitting there saying that we are just getting started. And here comes I'm looking at this. My fib lines are wrong here. I got to change this. There we go. And what we're basically looking at, we're recovering the listing candle right here. And we do that. We're looking at a potential 10x Phoenix. So
Wow. Yeah, look at
you're
that,
in
man.
this spot, and you're up significantly on it. We might be just getting started on this right here. So we're looking, if after this retest, potential to the 7-8, just to the all-time highs. We're looking at 1,350% gains from this retest. From right where we're at now, we're looking at 1,000% gains, which is 10x. And typically, these tokens, potentially, maybe I'll do some examples later on, or once we get our new group started up here, or some new things. You could sit there and see all-time highs, and we go into the first fib level and all-time highs. We're looking at 8,000% gains, and that's
Wow.
still possible. So, and with so keep your eyes on it. I don't. This could be just getting started. And this is something that I see play out after. I call it the 10x Phoenix, because if you look at it, it came out, it died, and it's getting reborn. So
Wow.
just
Yeah,
be.
look at that. Look at that. I like this chart a lot. This is really exciting to see. And, there are several. So, like I said, we are actually forming a group called 10x Phoenix. We're going to give you some of those, as well as, being able to scalp these things on the way up, in addition to your swing trades potentially. Wow, Tiago, thank you so much. You got a nice tip from Tiago for the TA on Clash. You guys rock. You got a new follower here. Oh, well, thank you so much, Tiago. And thank you for just joining the channel and supporting. Rob is doing some phenomenal TA, and him and his team are in the Discord for you 24/7, trying to, help you navigate this and help you win, right? Like we legitimately want everybody to win who's here. So let's go, Clash fam. Tiago's showing the love. That's right. Starknet is going to be massive. That's right, Jonah. And welcome to the stream, Jonah. I don't know if I've seen you before, maybe only a couple of times. Are you new? But thank you for joining. And we're all George. We're all the Hive. We're all moonshiners. Moonshiners, Rob. Yeah, you got Cam on the moonshine, Rob.
Oh, moonshine is good.
You didn't see it here. Yeah, our crypto and cocktails days are wonderful. Yeah, we're gonna need one of those again soon for the state of the market right now. But guys, don't get too caught up in the motion of the moment, because potentially we're gonna get that big altcoin trading week, and we're gonna rock and roll. So we gotta just stay on our game. We gotta stay ready. This will be, so we're gonna come up to the hour here soon, guys. Maybe give you one more chart to wrap this up, as we have not been here for a couple of days. I saw there was a Theta fan there, Colonel. We've been looking at, wow, look at the volume on Colonel too.
Yeah, if Colonel gets up, like right now we're bearishly retesting. Right now is the time to sit there and be paying attention to volume and looking for certain breaks and stuff like that, to sit there and see where the next hype's at. But this is a pretty strong volume candle right here, so I'm not sure what's going on with this one here. I'm gonna be waiting to get entry here, but we're way beneath the 9 on it. If we get above that 12-hour 9, we got bullish divergence. See right here, bullish divergence, bullish, yeah. So if we get above that 12-hour 9, I'm probably gonna be, I got stopped out of it, so I'll probably be taking re-entry at a better price, hopefully. But that's something to keep an eye on. This volume candle at this random spot right here is very, very strange.
Yeah, it is. And a lot of people, like you said, Rob, they get bored with it, so they kind of stop paying attention to it when maybe it's the best time to be paying attention to it. You know what I mean?
100%. And that's also like part of my strategy is I have ADHD. I have very strong ADHD, so I get bored very quickly. And that's why I had to sit there and figure out how to do that with my ADHD. Is if I get bored with something really quickly, how do I get my attention back on whenever it's the right time? And I figured out the solution. I hit right click, add alert, crossing. Wait a second, crossing up, value, same as chart. Once per bar close, boom. If we get a bar close above that SMA 9, my alerts will go off, and then my attention will be back onto it, because I can't sit there and watch it all the time. But that's how
Tricks
I deal
of the trade. I like it. I like it. The ADHD trick of the trade. Yeah, but yeah, that's just like helpful, right? You don't need to sit here and stare at it 24/7. You can just wait for it to reclaim critical levels and then jump back in. That's how it's done.
Yeah.
Brad, thank you for subscribing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's actually also like if you're scalp, like I've been really upping because it's because how the markets have been lately. I just feel like scalping and day trading is becoming more. I've been really studying how stock market traders day trade and scalp. And stock market, like when you go to options trading and stuff like that, their trades are timed. So I'm learning some new techniques on how to trade, how to time your trades. Like a day trade, like their strict rules are, you're in that trade for 4 hours, and by that time closing bell hits, you better be out, pack your bags, and you're out, win or lose. It don't matter. Overnight holding for day traders and scalpers.
Right.
They're massively nuts. Like they're talking 3, 5, 10, 15 minutes in and out. So those are something
Right.
I'm trying to level up as well too, to bring to more people, which I've been doing. Doing it's one thing, but being able to teach it is a whole nother skill set. So I can teach
Right.
swing trading really well. I'm pretty good at teaching day trading, but scalping is like one of those ones I'm going to get down on teaching on how to teach it because, like I said, in order to be able to teach, you have to do it well, but also teaching's a different skill within itself as well too.
Right. Yeah. And Rob is very, very good at it. As you said, Cam, we've been smashing the calls in the Discord. So, guys, sign up to that. We are going to rock and roll with that. We're just about ready to announce the launch of the next product so that you guys can absolutely smash it. Right. We want everybody to be winning. We'll be doing these kind of like live streams only for scalping and things like that, only for the group. Right. We're going to transition to a little bit different of a format. So, we've been giving this to you for free on YouTube to kind of give you a taste of, how it's going to be. And we will be continuing this in the private Discord afterward. And we'll be doing very short, brief lives just to keep you updated. But yeah, I mean, we want to give as much value as possible. So we appreciate all of the love and everything going on. And yeah, Rob, did you want to go over Zen real quick before we wrap this up?
It's a privacy token. I actually didn't know that when I first started trading it. So my eyes are on it a lot more now. It's starting to get massive volume again. So, I mean, it's at $17. And I remember last time I went over it, whenever I looked at it, I thought there was more background. I thought there was more right here. But definitely keep your eye on it because this is basically just making a nice big box right here to where if we break out of it, it may have a strong move on it. And I do like the volume. We lost when we got up here, we kind of started losing it, but it looks like we're trying to make it back. We need to make that swing high, but I don't want to sit there and be opening profits up above $22. So what I'm looking for is we broke the 1-day SMA 9. We never got a retest, and we're just getting bullish oscillators. So that is a really good thing. So I'm going to be paying attention to the 12-hour 9 SMA 50 as well too. If we get one more little pullback down here, I'm probably going to be taking some good strong entries. I do have a little bit of position, but again, sometimes when you start getting these signals, it's good to look to scale in, buy a little bit here, buy a little bit down here, as long as we're holding those critical levels. You can just kind of scale in your position. Now we start closing like right here. Like whenever I left the trade was right here, was this bearish retest, and it saved me on a 32% pullback. But now we're kind of back right here. So I'm looking at, I did get a little bit of a position whenever we broke above the 9 right in this area at $13, but it's not a very big position. Nothing that's going to make me a lot of money, just a couple $100 maybe, which is nothing in this day's world. Because I mean, taking your family out to dinner costs $200. But
Yeah,
but
that's true.
But whenever we come back down, if we come back down and start retesting this area, I'm going to be looking for basically higher lows. This is kind of what I did with Aster as well too, because it's sometimes tricky to trade with leverage if you don't know the skill set. Which Aster I couldn't trade with leverage at all, just due to how wicky it was. I've been trading this with a little bit of leverage in and out, but again, if you don't know what you're doing, it'll be very challenging. You're probably just going to get hit too hard. So what I'm going to be looking for is that next higher low. Are we going to get back down to this trend line is my question. I'm going to be asking myself. And in my opinion, we're probably going to get like halfway there. And if I could sit there and put a Fibonacci retracement on it, I would say $15 or so we could kind of come back down to, retest this area, kind of get close to that trend line, and then go up is going to be my next entry zone I'm going to be looking for. And at that time, I'll start zooming in and looking for like 1 hour breakouts and 15-minute breakouts to kind of nail my entry. But if you're not looking to zoom in like I do, and you have some more free, and you don't have enough time to do that or the skill set just yet, I would be sitting there just start at $15 down to probably $13. Let's go ahead and turn on my, hang on a second. So I'll say at 15 to 12.47 could be a very good scale-in range on spots. I know it's a 16% scale-in level, but this is a low market cap, low supply crypto. So 15% movements is actually pretty small for a crypto like this. So having a scale-in range like that in mind before you start scaling in, I think is really smart. This would be actually considered a bullish change of character or a bullish break of character entry, this bullish order block down here where you can get liquidity grabs and stuff. Do we get that? I have no idea. That's why I sit there and say, look for a scale in. Unless your skill level's far enough to where you set alerts there, and then you start zooming in when you get down to that levels, and then you watch it for that time, But until then, you kind of wait.
Right. Yeah. And that's some valuable tips, guys. Put these alerts on. Be patient because the big money is coming. You can pick those bags of cash up instead of pennies off the floor. I like that phrase. I heard it just along the years. And, you can make these bigger trades if you have the patience, or you can also pair that with scalping, which Rob will be teaching in the new course coming out and in the new private group. So if you guys do like that, please smash a like, hit the subscribe, sign up to the Hive, get yourself a BYDFi account because that'll be critical to getting into the scalping, the scalping groups and the other different groups that we're doing as they're supporting our initiatives. And it's been an overall very smooth and great experience with them. We have direct contact with the people at the exchange, the top, the CMO, and people that are helping us navigate that. So that's really good too. And yeah, I think we've given you a lot of information on this stream. You know more or less where Bitcoin stands, what the different scenarios are that could play out, and based on that, then you'll be able to make smarter decisions, right, on how you enter this market. So guys, if you did like that, go ahead, jump in the Discord, ask us questions, let us know about requests for the next stream, and we'll go ahead and try to answer as much as we possibly can. I don't know, Rob, did you have any last words to leave them with today?
Always be ready for pullback entries because I'm looking at the 5 minutes and 15 minutes of Bitcoin up my top right-hand screen. And it looks like we could be getting some low time frame retest here soon. So just be ready for retest. Always be ready.
All right, let's go. And Brett and all our new subscribers, thank you so much for joining the team. And we're going to have a very, very good week, guys. So that's it for today. And we'll see you tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. Eastern. Talk to you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.